Good morning, students. Today, here I am with the third part of chapter Nationalism in India. As in previous part, we studied about non-cooperation movement and Simon Commission. So finally, as already we discussed, Simon Commission came to India in 1928, but it was welcomed by Simon Commission Go Back slogan. All parties, including the Congress and the Muslim League, participated in the demonstrations. Because, as already I told you, in Simon Commission there was no Indian member. The basic task of Simon Commission was to look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India. So, in this commission, no Indian was. That is why Simon Commission opposed by all political leaders in India. Meanwhile, Congress historical annual session held in Lahore and Pandit Jawaharlal became President of Indian National Congress. So, in December 1929, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru declared complete independence, Purna Swaraj. Jawaharlal Nehru gave a slogan that is called complete independence, and it was decided in Lahore that 26 January 1930 will be observed as Independence Day all over the country. So now the Indian National Congress movement became dynamic because of this slogan, complete independence. Already we discussed about this. Now come the Salt March and the civil disobedience movement. So the economic, social and political condition of India was not very satisfactory because the peasants of India, they were under the heavy burden of taxation, except that the right of manufacturing salt was now only with Britishers. Indians have no right to manufacture the salt, and the salt is very common and it is the requirement of every citizen. So finally, on 31 January 1930, Gandhiji wrote a letter to Viceroy Irwin. Irwin was the Viceroy of India at that time, where Gandhiji stated 11 demands. Some of these were of general interest, others were specific demand of different classes, from industrialists to peasants. The idea was to make the demand wide-ranging so that all classes within Indian society could identify with them and everyone could be brought together in a united campaign. And in this letter, Gandhiji also clearly mentioned and gave deadline if the demand will not be accepted by 11th March, Gandhiji will start a nationwide Satyagraha movement. So Gandhiji gave a letter to contemporary Viceroy Irwin on 31st January 1930. There were 11 demands, and Gandhiji also gave deadline if the demand will not be completed by 11th of March 1930. Then Gandhiji will start civil disobedience movement. British government ignored Gandhiji's demand. Irwin ignored Gandhiji's demand. So finally, on 12th March, Gandhi started Dandi March. Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. So here, 78 volunteers, Gandhiji started journey from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi coast. The march was over 200 miles. The distance from Sabarmati to Dandi was around 240 miles. From Gandhiji's ashram in Sabarmati to the Gujarat coastal town of Dandi, the volunteer walked for 24 days, about 10 miles a day. Thousands came to hear Mahatma Gandhi. Wherever he stopped, and he told them what the meant by Swaraj and urged them to peacefully defy the British. On 6 April, he reached Dandi and ceremonially violated the law manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. So after completing the journey of 24 days, finally Gandhiji reached in Dandi coast on 6 April, and after reaching to Dandi coast, Gandhiji boiled water and manufactured salt and broke the British law, broke the colonial law. So this was the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Right. Salt March and Civil Disobedience Movement. Gandhiji wrote a letter to contemporary Viceroy Irwin on 31st January 1930. Very important point, my dear. In which Gandhiji demanded 11 points and gave a deadline. If British government will not accept the demand of Gandhiji, by 11th of March 1930, Gandhiji will start a nationwide satyagraha. And British government ignored the demand of Gandhiji. Finally, Gandhiji started Dandi march from Sabarmati to Dandi, around 240 kilometers. Gandhi went on foot with his 78 trusted disciples, and finally on 6 April, Gandhiji reached in Dandi, and Gandhiji boiled water, manufactured law, and violated the colonial law. So this was the beginning of civil disobedience movement. So the civil disobedience movement was some different from non-cooperation movement. As already we discussed a lot, in non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji said, don't cooperate to the British government. Gandhi appealed to the Satyagrahi, if you are in government job, resign it. If you are in school and college, left school and college. So during the non-cooperation movement, the people of India did not cooperate to the British government. But here, in civil disobedience movement, Gandhiji told to people, please violate the colonial law. यानी कि you manufacture salt. आप नमक बनाइए और अंग्रेजों के कानून का विरोध कीजिए. So all over the country, particularly in the northern part of India, people were demonstrating against the British government, and large number of people from different sections of society joined Mahatma Gandhi. So British government was worried by this development. The colonial government began arresting the Congress leaders. So finally, British government started to arrest the Congress leader one by one, and in many places, this led to the violence clashes in many places. One Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he is known as the Frontier Gandhi, a devout disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930. Angry crowds demonstrated in the street of Peshawar. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he was arrested in Peshawar. So when British government arrested him, people became violent. Finally, in April, Gandhiji also arrested. In April, Mahatma Gandhiji also arrested. Angry crowds demonstrated in the streets of Peshawar facing armored cars and police firing. So people became violent. The followers of Gandhiji became violent in Peshawar. They started violent activities. Many were killed a month later when Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested. Industrial workers in Solapur attacked the police force. Then the industrial worker in Maharashtra, they also started to attack in the British police. And they also started to attack in railway line and government buildings. And Gandhi was again worried by this violent activity because Gandhiji was not in favor of violence. As already we discussed in non-cooperation movement, when people became violent in Chauri Chaura, Gandhiji withdrew non-cooperation movement. Again, during this civil disobedience movement, situation was seen. After arresting Mahatma Gandhiji and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, people became violent and they started to destruct public property like railway line, police stations, so on. So Gandhiji was again worried by this violent activity. So finally, on 5th March 1931, there was a pact between Gandhiji and Irwin. So this is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. On 5th March 1931, there was an agreement between Gandhiji and Irwin. Irwin was the Viceroy of India. So this is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. When it held in 5th March 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So according to this act, Gandhiji was agreed to withdraw the movement, and British government was agreed to release all political prisoners, and Gandhiji agreed to participate in second round table conference in Britain. Right. So when the non-cooperation movement was in peak, number of leaders arrested, the people became violent, they started attacking into police and government property. So Gandhiji was worried by this violent activity because in Gandhiji Satyagraha there was no place for violence. So finally Gandhi made a compromise, Gandhi made the agreement with contemporary Viceroy Irwin on 5th March 1931. This is called Gandhi-Irwin Pact. According to this act, Gandhiji was agreed to withdraw civil disobedience movement first. Second, British government agreed to release all political leaders, those who were in prison. And third, Gandhiji decided to participate in second round table conference in Britain. While the first round table conference was boycotted by Indian National Congress, finally Gandhiji went to participate in second round table conference in Britain, but Gandhiji boycotted. When the discussion was going on over the Indian issues, Gandhi did not Gandhi was very disappointed with the attitude of the British government, and Gandhiji came back in India. He discovered that the government had begun a new cycle of repression. So when Gandhi came back, again the British government started repression. Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru were both in jail. The Congress had been declared illegal. British government declared Indian National Congress illegal. And a series of measures had been imposed to prevent meeting, demonstration and boycotts. Then the government restricted the meetings, government restricted demonstrations, and government opposed the boycotts. With great apprehensions, Mahatma Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement, or for over a year the movement continued, but by 1934 it lost its momentum. So again, when Gandhi came back from Britain after boycotting second round table conference, so that time almost leaders were in prison. The top leader of Indian National Congress were in prison, and finally again Gandhiji launched the civil disobedience movement, but this movement again not supported. So this was their civil disobedience movement, right? It started from Namak Satyagraha from Sabarmati Ashram, and when the leader arrested, it became violent, and finally, according to the Gandhi-Irwin Pact on 5th March 1931, Gandhiji withdrew the movement with conditions. The British government agreed to release all political prisoners, and Gandhiji was agreed to participate in second round table conference in Britain. But when Gandhiji reached to Britain, Gandhi boycotted the second round table conference and came back to India. So this was the civil disobedience movement. Now see, during this civil disobedience movement, who supported Mahatma Gandhi? First, during this movement, Gandhiji was supported by the peasants of Gujarat. They are called Patidar. The Patidar, they were the big farmers, and the Jat of Uttar Pradesh, they are also the big farmers. Actually, all these big farmers, they were under the heavy burden of taxation. British government was collecting revenue from these big farmers. So these farmers, Patidar of Gujarat and Jat of UP, they supported Gandhiji. Then the industrialists. The Indian industrialists also supported Mahatma Gandhi because during the First World War, Indian industrialists and Indian industries developed a lot because during the war demand increased and it was a golden period for the Indian industries. The First World War between 1914 to 1918, it is considered as golden chance and golden period for the industries because Britain was busy in war and demand increased, and this demand is supplied by Indian tradesmen. The main tradesmen of that time were G.D. Birla, and Purushottam Das Thakur Das. These were the eminent industrialists of that time. And the industrialists formed a group, it came to be known as FICCI, FICCI, Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress, okay, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries, that is called FICCI, Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries, this is called FICCI. So this was a very powerful group. It came into existence in 1927. Even today also the FICCI, this is a group of corporate sector, right? FICCI, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. This organization came into existence in which year? In 1927. Again, please. FICCI, FICCI came into existence in 1927. What is FICCI? It is a group, it is a union of corporates. It is a union of industrialists. And the top industrialists of that time were G.D. Birla and Purushottam Das Thakur Das. They supported Gandhiji. Well, during this movement, the worker not did strike. The industrial worker did not strike, while in few places, the railway worker in Chota Nagpur region, those who were working in mines, they came with Gandhiji wearing the cap. गांधी जी की कैप पहन के गांधी जी के साथ आंदोलन में आए. अदरवाइज मोस्टली जितने भी वर्कर क्लास था, वर्किंग क्लास था, they were continuing their work in industries, only their owners, they supported Gandhiji. And one of the important point of this civil disobedience movement was the entry of women first time in Indian National Congress. By the civil disobedience movement, there was no any woman in Indian National Congress, but during this civil disobedience movement, when Gandhiji started his Dandi March, he addressed to people. So many women were highly influenced with the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi and they joined Indian National Congress. So arrival of women was an important point during this civil disobedience movement. First time Indian women joined Indian National Congress while Gandhiji was not in favor of women. Gandhiji was convinced that it was the duty of women to look after home and hearth, be good mothers and good wives. And for a long time, the Congress was reluctant to allow women to hold any position of authority within the organization. It was keen only on their symbolic presence. So one of the important point of the civil disobedience movement, first time the women joined Indian National Congress. In urban area, these women were from high caste families. In rural areas, they came from rich peasants' households. So this was a turning point in Indian National Congress. During this civil disobedience movement, a large number of women joined Indian National Congress. Right. So this was civil disobedience movement. Who supported it maximum? It was supported by industrialists, Pikis. It was supported by big farmers like the Patidar of Gujarat and Jat of Uttar Pradesh. The limits of civil disobedience. One more thing during this period we see Gandhiji worked for the upliftment of untouchables because a large section of our society, those who were called Achut, untouchable, Gandhi gave them a new name. Gandhi called them Harijan. Hari means God, Jan means people, यानी कि भगवान के लोग. So in Gandhiji worked for the upliftment of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Gandhi gave them a new name that is called Harijan. Hari means God and Jan means people. So he considered them Harijans. And Gandhi used to visit in their colonies, organize satyagraha to secure them entry into temples and access to public wealth, tank, road and schools. He himself cleaned toilets to dignify the work of the Bhangi and persuaded upper caste to change their heart and give up to sin of untouchability. So Gandhiji worked for the upliftment of these weaker section. Those who called untouchable, Gandhi gave them no name, Harijan. Later on, they came to be known as a Dalit, and for the betterment of these Dalit, B.R. Ambedkar, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, He organized Dalit into depressed class association in 1930. For the upliftment of Dalits, for the upliftment of these untouchables, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, later on he became the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution. He uh, made an association, it came to be known as Depressed Class Association in 1930. For this depressed class, he made an association in year 1930. Who? B.R. Ambedkar. He was a Dalit leader and he worked for the upliftment of Dalits. So for their upliftment, he established an association. It is known as Depressed Class Association in 1930. So after this associations, B.R. Ambedkar demanded reservation in governments, separate electorate for Dalits, while Gandhiji opposed strongly it. Gandhiji said, Mahatma Gandhi at the second round table conference by demanding separate electorate for Dalits. Gandhiji began to fast unto death. Gandhiji said there should be no reservation. If there will be reservation, Gandhiji will start fast unto death. He believed that separate electorate for Dalits would also slow down the process of their integration into society. Gandhi thought if there will be reservation, there will be social disbalance. But Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhi's position and the result was the Pune Pact of September 1932. So finally in Pune, in September 1932, this is called the Pune Pact. This is very important because according to this Pune Pact, it gave the depressed class, later known as scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, reserved seat in provincial and central legislative council. Finally, in Pune Pact, September 1932, this pact gave reserved seat in provincial and central legislative council to SC and ST. So this was the beginning of reservation in our country, my dear. Pune Pact of September 1932, it is very important because according to this pact, the depressed class, later be known as scheduled caste, reserved seats in provincial and central legislative council, but they were to be voted in the general election. So first time the reservation was given to Dalit class. So this was the Pune Pact, September 1932. So dear, according to the syllabus, the national movement is only up to the 1932 here in your syllabus. It starts from 1915, arrival of Mahatma Gandhi, and this nationalism end in 1932 with the Pune Pact of September 1932. According to this pact, reserved seats in provincial and central legislative council reserved for SC and ST, and that is still also continue because we belong to constituency Almora and Pithoragarh MP constituency, and you must know today also our constituency is the reserve constituency because from this constituency only the scheduled caste can contest the election. So the foundation of this reservation was laid in Pune Pact, September 1932, right? And B.R. Ambedkar Sahab organized the Dalit into the Depressed Class Association. So when the Depressed Class Association came into existence, 1930. And when the reservation was given, reserved seat in provincial and central legislative council, according to Pune Pact of September 1932. Right, what is the full form of FICCI? Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. When FICCI came into existence? 1927. Right, who were the main industrialists of that time? G.D. Birla and Purushottam Das Thakur Das. Yes, civil disobedience movements launched by Mahatma Gandhi on 31st January 1930. Gandhi wrote a letter to Irwin. He demanded 11 points and he gave deadline. If the demand will not accepted, By 11 March, Gandhiji will start a nationwide movement. British government ignored Gandhiji's demand. Finally, Gandhiji started Dandi March from Sabarmati to Dandi, and Gandhiji reached in Dandi on 6 April and violated द लॉ मैन्युफैक्चर साल्ट बाय बॉइलिंग सी वाटर. समुद्र के पानी को गर्म करके गांधी जी ने नमक बनाया और अंग्रेजों के कानून का बहिष्कार किया. सो दिस वॉज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट. And like the wildfire, it spread in northern part of India. Almost the leader of Indian National Congress arrested by the British government, and all the top leader kept in prison. And in many places, people became violent. As you know, in the ideology of Gandhiji, there was no place for any violence. So finally, Gandhiji withdrew the movement according to the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. It held in 5th March 1931. Gandhi-Irwin Pact held in 5th March 1931. According to this, Gandhiji withdrew civil disobedience movement, and British government was agreed to release all the political prisoners from the prison, and Gandhiji also agreed to participate in second round table conference in Britain. Right? And the main supporter of this movement were big farmers of the country like the Patidar of Gujarat, Jat of Uttar Pradesh, because they were under heavy burden of taxation. So to reduce their tax, they were struggling against the British government. And FICCI, it was a group of corporate sector. They were also not satisfied with the British policy, so they also supported Mahatma Gandhi. FICCI came into existence in 1927. So these were the main supporter of Gandhiji. Now one more thing here, Gandhiji organized and united the untouchables. A large section of our society, those who were called untouchable, Gandhiji gave them a new name, Harijan. Hari means God, Jan means people, Bhagwan ke log. And Gandhiji worked for their upliftment. Gandhiji never discriminated with the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. So finally, for the upliftment of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe, B.R. Ambedkar, he was a great Dalit leader. He organized a depressed class association in 1930. Right? And after that, under this association, they started to work for the upliftment of weaker section. Finally, in Pune Pact of September 1932, reserve seats in provincial and central legislative council were given. So this was the beginning of the reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in political arena. So this was according to Pune Pact of September 1932. So my dear student, आपका जो ये सिलेबस यहाँ पर है चैप्टर, ये 1932 पर ही ख़त्म होता है. So meanwhile, a lot of discussion we did in different point. I am hoping you are understanding it. If there is any problem dear, you can call me personally, but regular study, that is very important. Lockdown is going long, my dear, and you have appeared in the board examination this year. That is why there should not be any casual attitude. And secondly, please try to join online class. It is my humble request, beta. Try to join online class. Okay, thank you.